Hello everyone and welcome to episode 541 of the MTGGoldfish podcast. And we have a special cast this week. I'm losing my voice already. It's only
Day one.
We're coming to you live, well not live, but we're coming to you from MagicCon Vegas. We are all alive, but you're gonna see this in the future. But anyway, we're at MagicCon Vegas, all together in a kind of very hot hotel room because we had to turn our AC off. But we are here to talk about MagicCon Vegas and some of the exciting announcements that we got from MagicCon Vegas. But before we get to that, we got a crew to introduce, and we got a big one this week because we're all here together. Let's kick things off with Phil. How's it going, Phil?
Hey-yo. Still pretty jet-lagged, but very excited to play more.
It's been like a week.
I don't know, this time it just doesn't go away, but I'm very excited for Commander.
Maybe Phil's just permanently jet-lagged. Like, he goes back to Germany, he's like, I'm so jet-lagged here.
Then, of course, the owner of MTGGoldfish, Richard. How's it going, Richard?
Hey, I'm exhausted.
Yep.
One day to the con.
Only one day in. Even more exhausted. Krim.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm in body,
Yeah.
but I'm excited to talk about a lot of the announcements that have been done yesterday. So.
Yeah, we got some big news. And then, of course, Tomer, Budget Commander. What's up, Tomer?
I'm doing great. I don't know. I slept well.
Yeah, I went to bed at like 11. I feel pretty.
Maybe it's because I just don't party at night.
Yeah,
It's like,
Tomer
oh
left the
boy.
con at 6 for a power nap.
Yeah.
You really?
No, okay. I came, so after the meet and greet at 6, I decided to come back for a power nap. That's true, but I didn't know midday. It was basically over at that point.
They're not just asleep.
And of course, I'm Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive. And like I said, we're going to talk our MagicCon Vegas experience and some sweet announcements. Before we get to that, we got a sponsor today, and our show's brought to you by Card Conduit. And Card Conduit's the easiest way to sell your Magic cards. If you ever get tired of the hassles of buy listing, you can skip them with Card Conduit. You can use their curated service where you send in as many cards as you want with a buy list value of $1 or more and pay just a 5% service fee. And if you want to do a bit of work, you can use their sorted service where you list and sort your cards in advance and pay just a 2% fee. Either way, you're going to get a detailed report with the results and a fast payment once your order is processed. And you can even get another 10% off if you head over to cardconduit.com/MTGGoldfish. Card Conduit, it's the easiest way to sell your Magic cards. So thank you to Card Conduit for supporting the show. And let's talk some MagicCon Vegas. And we're one day in. I'm curious, how was day one for everyone? Anything that stands out? What's the con been like so far?
I haven't seen too many Final Fantasy cards.
So I've seen cards. I played against one Final Fantasy commander so far. It was pre-Con Terra, but it was very upgraded. And this was someone who, oh my god, love Final Fantasy. They were just like, I'm the biggest fan, this set's reading me, it released on my birthday, I'm getting all the cards, I'm building all these decks. So some people were super hyped about it, and it's worth pointing out, this con, last year was 18,000 people, which I believe was the biggest MagicCon they ever did. This year, 25,000 people, they say, which is absolutely absurd. We're like a couple years away from having MagicCon Vegas be like Gen Con size, I think, if it keeps going like this.
Wow.
That would be really cool.
And it's also in the middle of summer too, so people are willing to be like, yeah, 110 Fahrenheit, that's fine.
Speaking of 110 Fahrenheit, maybe my favorite MagicCon Vegas story so far is not even from the con. It's Phil, who desperately needed an envelope and a stamp, and decided he was just going to run 2 kilometers, which I don't even know what that is in miles, but it is a really long way, in the 110-degree heat for leg day to get his envelope. Phil, how did you
It was way better than expected. I am sore though, which is just on me. I think I should run more. Probably.
Oh, yeah.
But the heat was fine. Once I accepted that it's going to be a little disgusting, that's fine. Going to the con in the heat is the thing. With a backpack, and you don't want to sweat, once you accept that you might sweat a bit, then it's fine. It is hot though, I have to admit. It is insanely dry. Breathing to your mouth right now.
I don't know how people live here. All I do is drink water and tea, and I'm still dehydrated. I had to buy a $10 chapstick from our hotel. I'm like, I'm just drinking. I've just switched to 100% Gatorade now. It's not helping. It's actually insane.
I don't know how people work outside in this weather. That's what's blowing me away, is seeing people directing traffic. One of our Uber drivers was talking about, all my friends work construction, and they're like, oh, you just put a bandana on, come work with us, it's great. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I was like, yeah, I don't blame you, man. So the heat is absolutely ridiculous.
So speaking of outside in the heat, the line to get in the con this year was ridiculous. So every year, usually if you arrive like 10 minutes after the con opens, you just like enter a flow of people and go in. Mm-hmm. We tried that this year. We were walking, like, oh, that's pretty good. We were walking, you know, a little slow, but, you know, 5-10 minutes later. And then there's just guys like, you guys aren't in line. You guys are just walking to the sidewalk where the real line is. And the real line is like this like giant mass of people. I think the line took like an hour and a half to clear or whatever.
Yeah.
People were trying to get in to buy collector boosters at MSRP from the official merch place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it is crazy. I've never seen a MagicCon like have that many people try to crowd in.
No, we've had some big lines at past Vegases, but this was unlike anything I'd ever seen. I think people also wanted the Ultra Pro stuff, like because they had all this exclusive Final Fantasy merch. Apparently, I don't know if you guys heard this. Apparently, someone got in the front of the line and bought every VV playmat. Literally hundreds of them. Just bought them out and just like booked
there's
it.
no limit.
No limit. No limit at the Ultra Pro booth. So they just bought every playmat, and I'm sure they're gonna list them on eBay or something.
That's so sad.
That's
I don't like that.
You really should put limits on stuff, I think. That would make it a little better. And that line was huge, too. We walked into the line, so many disappointed people, I'm sure, were waiting in that line only to find out all the playmats are gone.
I think that the Square Enix booth is the only one that, since they've always had booths at other cons, I feel like they're the only one that knew how to like run the ticketing.
Yeah.
They had like, hey, we're packed right now, we're going to give you a time slot. You coming back at this time or not? And they were very professionally run, I would say, when it comes to vending on some of that stuff. So with limits and et cetera, et cetera.
What did they have at the Square Enix booth? Did you know? Because you didn't know going into the con, right? It was kind of a surprise what they were going to have, or
yeah, we didn't know what they were going to have prior to the con, but obviously walked by. They had some really cool like that, like these heavy, glossy looking little like metallic figures. So like I had a Tonberry. It's like actually like a 3-pound Tonberry. Like a VV. They had all these like top loaders that had like Final Fantasy characters, or what are they called, one touches?
Oh, okay.
And then they had binders, playmats, sleeves, everything. So it was really cool to see Square just have all their stuff.
And,
There's the waifu Tifa statue.
Oh yeah, there were statues of figurines.
Did
And
people buy the statues?
I didn't, but my girlfriend did. So she, but not for me. For our, for our
house.
She ended up like sweeping some
bedroom.
stuff for like tons of people like within our group. So
Lava Spike had one. I saw it.
yeah, well, he was one of the people that we got it for. Yeah, Lava got it. Yeah.
Should I buy this $20 piece of cardboard, or should I buy this awesome statue?
It was like 230 or something like that.
Oh,
It was
only like 3 boosters.
yeah, that's actually about 3 boosters. Yeah, you're right.
Same value. I really just wanted to get some VV merch. Maybe today.
They didn't have the hat. They didn't have the hat.
Well, the European site has it for €200, and I'm about to make a bad decision, guys.
Actually, shockingly, we saw a lot of cosplay on the floor. First of all, I thought you were going to dress as Vivi.
Yeah, what happened?
What happened?
I just woke up. I was gonna go put that on.
Oh, today is costume day.
Yeah,
Okay.
today is the day that I'm going because we also have our panel, which hopefully went well in the future.
But I didn't see too many VVs floating. Just from the general look, Final Fantasy VII is the most popular. A lot of Tifas, a lot of clouds in the field.
Yeah.
I didn't see an Aerith. The Aerith is apparently low tier.
I did see one, right? Like just one.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I don't. Oh, I saw someone dressed up with their carbuncle, so they were a summoner. And a Lulu, which I do not understand how they were wearing all of that because it was like 110 degrees, but they were in the Lulu fit, so that was wild.
So, how many games you guys get in yesterday? It was day one. We had a meet and greet for a couple hours. Mm-hmm. Had to wait in a long line to get in the morning. But I'm curious, how many games did you actually get in?
So we kind of decided to not wait in line and then wait into the hotel next door, and I played a game over there. So if we count this game, it should be 5.
5? Wow, that's pretty good.
Right, so we played one game, and then I played with you, where you crushed us with
Sleepless Stack. Well, sort of. That game was a little weird because we played against this guy that had this. He had a SpongeBob deck that was themed after SpongeBob. It was SpongeBob Joda, but it was like a SpongeBob flavor deck where every single card in the deck was some like obscure SpongeBob reference. So it was all these weird flavor cards.
That deck sounds
and he
awesome.
built this massive board with Joda, but SpongeBob wouldn't kill people, so the only way he'll actually end the game is with divine intervention. So he refused to actually attack with his huge Yoda board because SpongeBob wouldn't do that, because that's too mean for SpongeBob. And then I ended up draining him with my Norin shenanigans in the Sleeveless Rocco deck.
Wait, do they know about SpongeBob and his karate? Like, I mean, he was slicing people. Like,
He needs some deeper lore cuts.
yeah.
But anyway, sorry, Phil. So that's 2 games, and then, like, you got a few more after the
I'd have been a 6. Because Toma, we played the game in the Creator Corner, so I might have been 6 games.
I mean,
Wait, no, we
we
didn't
were...
play a game in the Creator Corner.
I played Jadar.
Oh yeah, we did.
It was so unmemorable for Toma.
Also, Toma won again with the Sleeveless decks. The Sleeveless decks are kind of taking names here. And I
It's
won
meta.
in the hotel room with it. Maybe that's the meta. Maybe sleeves are holding in your power and you gotta uncheck your decks.
I think we were the ones there the longest yesterday, right? We got back a little after, 9, I think we got back, so we jammed quite a few games. I only actually had 3, which I was hoping to get in more, but I played a couple of long ones, and just a lot of meeting people, shaking hands, all that kind of fun stuff, so that part's super fun. What about you, Richard? How'd your games go?
I got in 4 games, one of which was One Piece.
Were there a lot of One Piece people there? I saw a couple that were like from regionals, and like, we just had to swing by because we're next door anyway.
So I actually played someone One Piece. So we finished our game. It was like 15 minutes before the meet and greet. So you may have noticed I was a little late to the meet and greet. I didn't even get to finish the game, but we played some One Piece. Shockingly, though, as I was walking the floor, you know how people are buy listing their cards to vendors?
Yep.
There was a person selling their One Piece cards.
Really?
And the vendor was buying them. So you can see all the One Piece cards spread out into the quadrants of money or whatever. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, yeah, can you actually sell One Piece cards to the vendors here? So that's crazy. But on the Magic side, 3 games. I, too, brought my sleeveless Abdel Adrian deck. You saw it on Clash. It was $15. I upgraded it to, like, $18 or something.
Whoa.
Because, you know, when we built that deck, I was like, I can't afford Solemn. Solemn is like 35 cents. We gotta get it down to like 15, and we had to make all these weird cuts. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna put in this like stupid dual land that costs like 20 cents because I'm not restricted by $15 budget. That deck is too old. So that's kind of funny, but I played a crazy game with Yeruk. I finished a game with like 3 cards in library, and it ended with our opponent did a Grey Merchant, and they had a huge board, and we somehow didn't die. Like they reanimated their graveyard with the Grey Merchant, and we didn't die somehow. And then I untapped, I Planar Cleansing to wrath the board. Diluvian Primordial got back to Rise of the Dark Realms.
Oh my gosh.
So that was a funny game. I dealt 240 damage in 1 turn in the other game. So it was the waifu jumpstart commander Everett.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know they were wrecking everyone with lifelink. They got up to 240, and then I managed to like stay alive just like out of like their damage range by Soul Warden effects. Yeah. And then I untapped Starlight Spectacle plus Changeling Mirror Entity, right? Did 240 in 1 shot, so that was kind of fun. And then Birds did Birds and Things.
Yeah, birds do what they do.
Birds did Birds. It survived a double farewell, so no problem.
The last game that I saw last night, I finished my game and I was going to find Phil to come back to the hotel, and I walked in on right at the end of the game with someone making 10,000 green mana with Jumbo Cactar.
Yeah.
What happened in that game?
Yeah. So the whole game was like everybody did crazy stuff. I had the classic Lowness do a bunch of stuff, but then passed. Sorry for that. They played Gruel big stuff and had Jumbo Cactar and a card that says when they deal combat damage to a player, they get that much green mana. And they hit with a Jumbo Cactar.
They killed someone and got 10,000?
No, they actually didn't kill them. They played the White Flare, so they life total couldn't change, but they still deal damage, so they still did add 10,000 green. And but it should be enough. For
I think they won from that, right?
Yeah. I think they won anyways. And I should have won a turn earlier, probably.
There was a hotel room game that you definitely should have won like 2 turns earlier, where Richard fogged and you had a negate in hand.
Maybe
an adventure card,
read all my cards and I had like
side.
20 cards. Who is the adventure card side of
It was a Sapphire Dragon?
Probably.
Yeah.
How about you, Krim? How was the games day one?
I got 6 games in, but 3 of them were standard.
Oh, okay.
The craziest thing was like when people were like, wait, do you have a standard deck? No, they weren't in the event. I've only had to do pickup games. I've been going around just asking people like if they want to play standard because I have multiple decks, so I have all the cards. So one game was with both my decks, 2 of them were with other people's decks, and then my Hope deck is the only deck I've played all weekend, and I have won all of my games of that deck.
Wow.
Because I casted War Report, which gained me life equal to the number of creatures and artifacts on the board. So
Which mana is that?
it's 4. It's instant speed, and I gained so much life. And then I because I had that in Alhamret's archive, so I just milled. I think at the end of it all, I think it was like 100 cards or so, roughly 107, I think, or can't remember because I had a bunch of like little Soul Sister pings as well, life gains. So I've been milling and life gaining a lot. So I am really liking my Hope deck.
The meal menace, every single time.
Except the game when I got Mana Scoot against you. That one I lost. That doesn't count. We were playing that in the hotel room. Oh, did I win that?
I feel like you won.
Oh, maybe I did.
I don't know, everything's a blur to me.
Yeah. How about you, Tomer? What stands out in the blur?
I had like 4 games. One was like a half game while we were waiting for the hotel or the convention line to clear. But we just ended it early because I had like a board wipe and I like Ruinous Ultimatum. I can keep this game going on for a little bit longer, but we decided to end it early. And then played some sleeveless games with Paco Halden. I just played aggro. Like I played Cauldra to Cauldra things, which is always fun to do. It's very hard to assemble Cauldra, but it's very easy to win with the deck, so I don't know. Maybe I have to rethink some things.
What should that mean?
I got 2 Cauldra pieces down. It's just a lot of mana. Yeah. And then I played Paco Halden a bunch of times because that's like my go-to, not super powerful deck, but like very aggro deck and kind of pushes the game forward. And then we got like a 3-player game with Daniel Holt, which is like a WotC designer. He had his blinged out Titus Final Fantasy X only deck, and it actually did some serious work. He got the win in that one eventually, and I was playing Zedrew. It was a decent amount of games, but the main focus was just like I really tried to be as social as possible, which is tough for me because I'm very introverted. Like I kind of have like my little space. But I was like kind of pushed towards, like go to the creator corner, go say hi to people by my partner. So it was very effective.
On that point, I noticed that this MagicCon, it's very easy to be social because a lot of people would be like, "What's your favorite Final Fantasy game?"
Yeah,
and then
that's my go-to.
Where we never in the past be like, "Who's your favorite Gatewatch member?"
Yeah,
which hat did you like on Luke? Like that never happened. But I hear the heated Final Fantasy debates like all weekend where people talk about the game, so that's kind of cool.
So speaking of Final Fantasy, how much Final Fantasy have you actually seen on the battlefield or card wise? So I know it's been a big conversation, but have you seen a lot of people that are already playing with the cards, even though it's only been out a week now, 2 weeks now?
I played Sephiroth.
I played against Vivi. I played against Y'shtola. I played against. I played. Oh, and I played against Kuja.
Oh, that's a lot of Final Fantasy decks.
Somebody Latoya.
Are those in standard?
No, not standard.
Okay.
Standard, I play Cecil.
So, what about outside the con stuff? Any other Vegas stuff? I know for me, Phil's run sticks out, but any other Vegas stories from not the gameplay aspect?
Commander's great and all, but where it's at is Judge's Tower. So we had a lot of
that was fun.
Hotel Judge's Tower.
We did a draft too.
I feel this is what people should be playing. It's like casual, but it's like so sweaty, but it's casual. Like Commander's too casual now, right? It's just like, whatever. But Judge's Tower, it's both simultaneously sweaty, casual, and fast, right? Yeah. So I really like it. I wish we could do something for the YouTubes, but we'll have to figure it out.
We'll have to figure it out.
I kept dying to my own mana rocks. Judge's Tower. Like, oh my god. I keep forgetting. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that.
I think it's actually like the perfect casual pickup game because like one person brings the box. It's not a huge box or anything. Yeah. Like it's portable, and then nobody else needs to bring anything. And you don't need to like, like if I give you like a commander deck, it's going to be a lot of work to kind of understand. You go like, I have like 15 tutors. What am I supposed to tutor for? But this one, everybody has like an even playing field. Everybody's reading the cards usually like for the first time, especially if it gets randomized a lot.
Unless it sets textless cards.
Yeah, those are getting cards.
In an ideal world. But yeah, it's super fun. And just like quick games.
Yeah, it is super fun. I was worried it was going to be too spiky for people to just pick up, but so far I don't think it's actually felt that way. It seemed like everyone's been able to just like sit down and play and have a good time with it. So
it's like the same vibes as Dan Dan.
It really kind of is, except you can play with like 8 people if you want. You can just get everyone in there and have a game, which is super fun. I met someone who had a Wizard's Tower. Does anyone know what Wizard's Tower is? I misheard that, and I was like, oh yeah, we've been playing Judge's Tower all weekend, it's super good. She's like, no, it's Wizard's Tower. It's like Judge's Tower, except it doesn't make you hate yourself as much. And I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, it sounded like it was like some sort of commandery version of a tower, which sounded interesting. Maybe towers are the way forward in Magic. You just build a new stack of cards and
Wait, so Wizard's Tower is a casual version of a already hyper casual.
It's even more.
That's opposite of what I want actually. Well, I went to the Sphere and it was amazing.
Oh,
we always see the Sphere. It's like one of the most prominent things in the Vegas area. But I went inside it and I saw a movie. The movie was kind of whatever, but like. It was shot like the way it was shot and everything. Like you move, they do a shot interior of like a beautiful architecture, like a mosque or something, and inside you see all this like beautiful architecture on top. And the nice thing is, like usually if you're watching a movie, you just see like the front part.
Yep.
But you're going in and you can see like the ceiling and the walls around you too, because it's like a full
it's
like
all around.
It's shot in a way to take advantage of the fact that like the screen is an entire sphere. It's like all the way above you and behind you and to the left and to the right and everything. So
that's
it's actually fun. Yeah.
Can we watch the Pro Tour?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would be disorienting, but yeah.
There is a Pro Tour going on this weekend too. I haven't run into any pros though, really. Have you guys run into any pro players since you've been here? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We don't go to that area.
I actually don't even know
back
where
area.
it is.
Top.
Oh, see, I haven't even made that stairs yet.
Yeah, it's up and tucked away, as opposed to last year where it was front and center and really loud.
Yeah, everyone had to walk right by.
Yeah.
So we got 2 more days to go. Is there anything else you're really looking forward to doing, or that's on your list for MagicCon Vegas?
More Commander.
More Commander. I mean, we got a panel coming up. That should be fun. Our podcast. That should be pretty interesting. We've never done a live version of the Commander Clash podcast before, so that's coming up this afternoon.
I mean, I'm pretty excited to see if I can find an Emmett Selk unsundered in Surge Foil. But I am not excited for the fact that I think all the Surge Foils skyrocketed. Even like my Hope Surge Foil is like $70.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So I am kind of excited to try to find it, but it's also been hard. I've never seen so many people just like buying out so much Final Fantasy stuff, right? Like we're talking like the vendors just have a display case to Final Fantasy cards.
Yeah.
And those are just getting picked clean.
Yeah.
Wait, no. I want to go shopping. I want to see the Surge Foils in real life.
Yeah. I do too. I hope one of them itself. So.
I want some VV merch. I don't know if I'll get any VV much, but that'd be the plan.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that took all the Ultra Pro mats.
Yeah, that guy probably has it.
For 2x.
It's not me.
It's all the Cruiser match.
It is not me.
That's why we're not allowed.
Don't come in. Just stacks of VV.
He just sleeps on play mats.
So, one of the cool parts about the Magic Cons is they do these big announcement panels where they show off some spoilers. Maybe this time they announce like some upcoming sets. We know the name of like the new Strixhaven set that's coming out next year, Lorwyn. But the big news from this announcement day is a change to Commander, which is kind of interesting. So, they're making legendary vehicles legal as your commanders, along with spaceships?
Yes.
Is that what they're called? Spacecrafts? What are they actually called?
Ships.
Spacecrafts.
Just ships.
Spacecrafts. Which are a new card type coming with Edge of Eternities this summer, which is kind of vehicle looking, but they're not technically vehicles. But anyway, you're going to be able to play legendary versions of these as your commander. Curious what you guys think of this change. Like, does making legendary vehicles eligible as your commander change anything? Are they going to be popular? Are there any legendary vehicles you're hyped to build around? What do you think of the rules change?
I think it's like, they had a set, they were like, the main thing is spaceship, so we're going to change the rule to make it work. And like everything, I looked at all the other like legendary vehicles that were already existing, and I think there was like maybe like one that I was like, maybe it could do RMS Titanic, it could be kind of interesting. It's not really like, it's just like some spaceships are going to be exciting, and that's what they want to build around, so they made it work for Commander. Like, okay,
The Last Ride, Tomer.
What?
The Last Ride. That's a legendary vehicle.
Cool.
What is that?
That's the one from Ether Drift where it's like a death
Oh
shot.
yeah. That one's
You have Greed in the command zone.
That one is pretty
That's
sweet.
that's so sweet.
Ezekiel's chariot's kind of cool.
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
I think the
yeah.
big challenge I see is a lot of legendary vehicles are colorless, and it's just going to be hard to build decks around their theme with only colorless cards. But that might change in the future, I guess, as we get more like, if they're making this rules change, I imagine there's going to be like synergies for these new like card types and so forth. So I guess we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah.
I just really like all these, like the idea of being able to make your ship or whatever your commander, right? Like I think that's pretty cool.
We're so casual, the rules don't apply anymore. Okay, I get it, but why exclude legendary planeswalkers?
Yeah.
That is the most logical
Yeah,
inclusion, and the answer is probably because they're too lazy.
Yeah.
Right? Because they probably need to balance it, but they don't balance the commanders anyway. So, and it's also like a standard set, so why do they have to make it playable in commander? So I don't know, I'm dubious of this. So they clearly just want to push their spacecraft.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then maybe you play the Indomitable or some Assassin's Creed crap or something somewhere, but if they're like all legendary whatevers could be your commander, that would seem like a coherent
Legendary one.
design decision. Like legendary artifact, legendary planeswalker, something like that. Yeah, but this just feels like, we need to sell this set, so we'll just make a legendary spacecraft and it could be your commander. They could have just put it on the card. This
They
could be your
could have,
commander.
but maybe they were like, we have like 5 of them, and we don't want to put on all of them. Sort of.
Honestly,
it doesn't really affect like the other cards, right? But like, it just does. It kind of feels lazy.
that would,
But if I saw this can be your commander on my
But why
standard.
is the
Yeah, I was gonna
inanimate
say,
object?
that would
drive me
like rerunning same commander in modern bothered me already, and if a standard set was just like legals your commander, I'd be like, come on.
We're way
people.
past that point.
I
though.
know.
Like, we
I know,
know,
we
we know
know
every
this,
set's just a commander set. Come on.
We did get one of the spacecrafts as a spoiler, so I'm curious what you guys think of this card. So it's 1 in double white for a spacecraft. It's a legendary artifact. When it enters, you get to search your library for a legendary creature card, put it in your hand, and then it has Station, which is tap another creature you control, put charge counters on the spacecraft equal to that creature's power, and then you can only do it as a sorcery. And once you get up over 7 charge counters on it, it turns into a creature that's a 5/5 flyer, and you can tap a legendary creature you control to give it indestructible. Will you guys build a deck around that? Is that an intriguing commander?
From the command zone.
It is a tutor from the command zone.
I mean, I just don't like tutors, so I wouldn't play that for commander. But I mean, I see the cool things you can do with it in standard, so like that's pretty sweet. But
I mean,
like I am not excited for anything that's going to go in tutor.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of busted legendaries out, right? Like who
At least
has to say?
At least
We've
it's-
seen that.
At least it's mono white. That kind of
That's
restricts it a little bit, which helps. Well, I think.
Disrespect.
I think it's like
The best color in all of Magic the Gathering.
I think it's like
Why tutor in the command zone? Why?
yeah, it's kind
It
of
defeats the purpose of the format, right?
I don't think it's like particularly busted or anything. Like it's like search for glory. You can search up any legendary permanents or like I think it's like something like that. And then there's like Thalia's Lancers, which can switch up creatures, but it's a 5-drop, but it's a creature always, so you can blink it easier. So I don't know. It's somewhere in between that. It could be in the command zone, which is kind of interesting. It's a little bit harder to blink unless it's a creature. I think it's fine. It's good.
But if you blink it, it loses its charge count.
Yeah, and then you have to make it. You have to charge it up again and everything. But it's fine.
What you charge it? What does it?
It becomes a permanently.
It's usually after they're charged up, they have some
like a different take on crewing almost.
I think it's better than the 99.
That part.
Yeah, it does seem good in the 99 of any sort of like legendary deck. Like, if and there's a lot of
every
those
commander
these days.
deck.
Yeah, everything. Everything's a legend these days.
Did you see the spoiler of the? It's the new fancy border of the set. It's like a black hole.
It's white bordered.
No, it's not white bordered. It's like it looks actually just like a black hole.
Yeah.
But it's really. God, I gotta find the name of the card.
Okay.
It's like a grave pact, an exile, you can steal something. It's really cool. I like that one a lot.
And it looked phenomenal because they actually showed what it looked like, and I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah,
so it feels like a black hole. Honestly, it's cool.
Sathera the Super Void.
There it is.
It's a 4-mana legendary enchantment. It's a black card. It says when a creature you control dies, each opponent chooses a creature they control and exiles it. So it's like 2025 Grave Pact almost. And then at the beginning of your end step, if a player controls no creatures, you sack it and put a creature card that's exiled with it onto the battlefield with 2 counters on it.
Yep.
I will say that card's cool. It doesn't feel like the chase card of the set to me though. Like it feels just kind of like a utility card. After like the Ether Spark and the Wandering and these like pretty epic spells, I thought that was just like a random rare that they showed off.
As as an Edict lover, you're telling me I can make you Edict, except Super Edict now with exiling. That's kind of cool.
So I don't play Grave Pact out of courtesy in my Jada deck, and I think I will play this because it seems safe.
At least it's going to go away.
It goes away.
Like sooner or later it'll go away.
The decks that use Grave Pact usually want the opponent's creatures to die, to like whatever, Mass Reanimate or something. Also, Blood Artist triggers don't trigger, and then it goes away, and then it doesn't stick on the battlefield to oppress the table for the rest of the game. So I think I will actually play this because it seems like a safe Grave Pact. Not saying it's bad, but it doesn't seem like it fits.
No one cares about gameplay because we don't know what's happening with Corey Steelcutter, right? But this is the super hyped set flavor-wise, right? We're like, oh, it's Star Wars, and when they first revealed it, we're like, it doesn't look terrible.
Yeah.
How do you feel now that we've seen a couple cards and some of the art and the flavor, especially coming off Final Fantasy, and we're like, yeah, this is it. This is Magic Star Wars, or are we like, actually, it's a hat set. Actually, it's just Ether Drift 2.0. Like, what do you feel about the flavor?
I do not
like Star Trek than Star Wars.
Yeah, this is definitely a lot more along those lines. I hope it's not another, I don't know, hat set.
No lightsabers yet. We haven't seen the Jedi or the Sith or anything. We've just seen spaceships.
It feels like, I don't know, there's like a early 1900s aesthetic of like spaceships and exploration and stuff, and it has like that vibe of it. I don't know, especially like the showcase arts where they were trying to mimic like those like they're not comic books, but they were like these like paperback books that you can read short stories in and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And there would be like a sci-fi version of that. There would be like a monthly series and stuff, and they have like a vintage looking spaceship art on it. That's the vibe that I'm getting from it. It feels like more, not Star Trek-y, but it feels more like retro sci-fi. Almost like, it feels like Infinity. Honestly, it feels like they took away the goofiness and silverboardness of Infinity and they repackaged it.
That actually made me a little salty because they did Infinity, and the selling point of Infinity was, we print these shocklands in this cool planetary treatment with this cool foil treatment. And then they're doing the same thing. They're printing the shocklands with planets on them and cool treatments.
They just showed. They could have just 2 years ago. Yeah, they could have just showed the same art because Infinity cool shockland art. They didn't have any goofiness, no silver border, no we're a theme park. No, they were just playing it straight. It could have just fit here.
I will say I really like the planet look of stuff. I think that's the coolest part. Like the characters and the spaceships, I'm like whatever, but just like the outer space art and like the planets and stuff looks super cool. I'm actually pretty hopeful it's not going to be a half set. I think it looks like a relatively serious set so far, and it's not just going to be like goofy. We put Jason in a space helmet and like or whatever. So
because they already did that. The pick a lane.
Space.
I am very excited to see a serious space set from them, though, because it looks good. Like the space whale art, the celestial armor looking art. It's got this very, I don't know, this like sci-fantasy vibe to it. So it's very, very beautiful to look at.
One thing though, so I'm a big sucker for space, everything. I do have to say that Mutavault or something, we saw a special art and it doesn't have a name up top, but the name is in the type box and then the type is in the text box. No.
That parse. Yeah, that I didn't. I mean, it's cool that they're reprinting Mutavault, and apparently they're doing a whole special sheet of lands or something, which is probably going to be pretty awesome.
It seems like I studied design, and it's one of those classics. I have to reimagine it somehow. Do this there, and this is there, and this is there. This works, right? Everything's still there.
I got going back to the legendary vehicles as commander things. I heard a theory from people that this is suggesting they're going to do like Universes Beyond, Star Wars, or Star Trek in the field. Like they wouldn't just make this change just on Edge of Eternities, and this is like they're doing some huge Universes Beyond crossover with spacecraft and stuff in the future. Do you put any weight in that? Do you think this is suggesting that like next year we're getting Star Wars Universes Beyond or something?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
They would just scrap the set. Why would they even have the set if Star Wars coming next year? Right? I don't think so. Plus, they would just save it for them. Like I feel they just wanted to make you play with your big ships.
But that could be. Although it would also be a way you could kind of break the ice a little bit if they were worried that people would have like Star Wars isn't magic-y enough. You can kind of like test the waters a little bit with Edge of Eternities and go from there.
We have Warhammer. We have Doctor Who. Whatever. I feel that's not a thing anymore.
We have SpongeBob. All right, it's fine.
I gotta ask you guys about one more card. So they did spoil, I guess, what I would consider to be the most hyped card from Edge of Eternities so far, which is a new Tezzeret. So this new Tezzeret, Cruel Captain, is a 3-mana colorless planeswalker. Whenever an artifact enters, it gets a loyalty counter. It starts with 4 loyalty. For 0, you can untap an artifact or a creature. If it's an artifact creature, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. So kind of like a voltaic key effect. -3, you essentially Trinket Mage. You search your library for an artifact, mana value 1 or less, put it in your hand and then shuffle. And then -7, you get an emblem being in combat on your turn. Put 3 +1/+1 counters on target artifact you control. If it's not a creature, it becomes a 0 or a robot artifact creature. How busted is the new Tezzeret? I feel like this card's kind of absurd.
It is a 3-mana planeswalker that is not restricted by color.
Yeah, even just that is wild.
And it's an artifact, right?
It's for artifact decks, and it doesn't even say non-token artifacts for getting like the loyalty counters on it, which means treasures.
Also not once per turn.
Did you say it is an artifact?
It is not. Is it not an artifact?
Its type is not artifact. No. It goes in an artifact deck, but it's just a legendary planeswalker Tezzeret. It's not an artifact planeswalker, but it is colorless.
I'm also surprised that passive is not once per turn either.
Or like non-token, like there's not a restriction on there. It even triggers like if you play this and do the Trinket Mage and cast what you Trinket Mage, you'll get another loyalty. So it seems, me and Phil were talking about this last night when we were walking back, that it seems pretty realistic that you could be every turn tutoring, or even in some decks every turn ultimating, and just getting this emblem where you're getting this increasing board of robots turn after turn after turn.
This feels like the One Ring of the set.
This is the card that I'm like, oh my god.
Except, at least it only fits one archetype.
Right, you gotta make an artifact deck, right? So that's a good way, if you're gonna put a ton of power into a card, make it only go in one deck. It's a smart way to do it.
Corey Steel Cutter fits one archetype.
Nobody cares about Sandman. It's fine with Commander.
We're talking about Commander?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this card is actually that good in Standard. I think it'll be at its best in like Vintage, where you can do like Vault Key shenanigans.
Modern.
The Modern Legacy, they already have like mud decks where you're like playing all this fast mana, you play Grim Monolith, untap it with Voltaic Key, and then you play this, untap it with Voltaic Key, you just keep like popping off with Grim Monolith. So I think in older formats it's going to be really strong. Would you play a Commander? Like, is this if you're playing an artifact deck, it's like an Urza Saga almost, where you get the tutoring, and like, do you just jam in every artifact deck?
I still run Trinket Mage in a lot of decks, and this is a Trinket Mage that does more things afterwards.
It's also probably a Trinket Mage that costs like $50 or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to play it, but like, I could see theoretically if I had a budget.
Yeah.
Wait, does it put it directly onto the battlefield?
It goes to your hands.
Okay, so it literally does a Trinket Mage thing.
Literally does Trinket Mage,
No body.
Trinket Mage is a body, you can blink it easier. But, I mean, you throw this into any artifact deck, it's going to do better than Trinket Mage.
Yeah, it's Trinket Mage with a bunch more things.
It depends if you want that emblem kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's meant for one thing, like go wide attacking decks. So if you don't need that, like it's not as interesting.
What about your Lotus deck, Phil? Like, do you think it's worth just playing because you're like, I'm going to have all these clues, I can potentially get multiple emblems, and then every turn I'm getting like 2 3/3s, 3 3/3s, and it turns all your clues into this army. I played against this treasure commander yesterday I never played against, and it like turns all your treasures into 3/3 creatures, and then it like it's like from the commander precon spell Thunder Junction. But I had never played against it before, and it was actually really scary. It was just like all these 3/3s every turn, wave after wave from all the treasures they were making. I feel like I can kind of do the same thing in Lotus.
When I read the card, I am sure in Lotus you can ultimate or tutor. I mean, tutor you can do every turn, I think, in every deck where you play this.
Yeah.
But I think in Lotus you can ultimate every turn. Is that better than just Rise and Shine and animate all your tokens?
Yeah,
at
I
once?
guess.
This one gets you killed.
It doesn't even get you.
Because you see it, and it's like, oh, it's coming. But next turn.
Next
like, there's some
turn,
build up, right? You can't interact because it's an emblem, but they can't just kill you. So I think Rise and Shine is better. Or just Overrun.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat my words too much, so I'm just going to say, I don't know, it looks interesting.
I think the card's nuts. So, like, across the board, commander or...
I think it's got to be like a combo piece.
Oh,
like some kind of like
sure.
Yeah, if you untap a crazy artifact with it, I think it gets way better.
I don't think it's too busted, but it is very strong. Probably busted.
We say that about every Kazareth though. How many of them actually see play? It's like, if you play artifacts, this looks insane, and then like, only 1 of 4 ever pop off. They usually like do something weird.
The OG is still my favorite, honestly.
Ethereum Cell Maker or whatever, the one from
Dimir?
the Dimir one.
Oh yeah.
I think we all knew that one wasn't that great, right? but like
the OG.
that card, I wouldn't sleep on that also in Standard, by the way. So
Really, where would you play it in Standard though?
Solemn Synthesizer, whatever, United Battlefront, putting it into play. Like
with the new Ugin, maybe?
The new Ugin is going to be great. Like, you could instant ramen with Ugin. In the early access event, I instant ramen somebody as a way to just instant speed removal something. I thought it was great.
The tutor ability searches stuff that's just mana value 1 or less, so you can get an Esper Sentinel this
Sure, yeah.
So maybe we're missing something, or
get
getting
Ghost
something
Vacuum.
like if there's like an affinity deck and you can just tutor out your entire low curve with this. Maybe that's enough.
So other things they announced that I think are worth mentioning, art cards. We were talking about how Final Fantasy art cards actually are kind of oddly valuable for some reason. Apparently moving forward, they're moving them all into collector boosters, which seems like they're trying
Did you find
to
value
make
in
them
the boosters?
valuable.
Nonsense. Indie collectors.
You peasants aren't allowed value.
They replaced the common or something, didn't they? Did they mess with the play boosters?
I thought they were like the
I thought it replaced the token.
Oh, replaced
but
the
I'm not
token?
100% sure.
Why did they do this then? It doesn't make any sense.
Because they found out people wanted them for Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to make them.
This is too
valuable
fast,
now,
though.
right?
This
They're
is
gonna
too
be
fast
super
for them to
scarce,
figure that out.
Yeah,
right?
it is too fast.
They must have
they
had
had this
ahead of time.
pre-planned.
Yeah. Maybe they're smarter than we give them credit for, and they knew the Final Fantasy ones were going to pop off, and yeah.
But then why did
By the
they
way,
do this before?
I want to find a vendor that has like a full
You want all the
collection.
art cards?
I wonder how much it is, and I might just get it.
Yeah.
I mean, by expensive, it's
Good
like
luck.
$5 or $10. They're not like hundreds of dollars.
But how many are there? And
There's a lot.
The
think
gold
there's
side ones are
32.
worth a lot.
Yeah,
It's so
you want them
fun.
all gold side.
I don't know. I just want to see it first of all, just to see what it looks like.
It's so crazy because like this is like the first set that I think they were any value whatsoever. Maybe Lord of the Rings was the same thing,
Nope.
but like at the pre-release, my buddy who's like the big Final Fantasy fan among us, he's like, I'm gonna collect like all 7, 8, 9, 10. Those are the games he played, and like he just like went to pre-release and he just asked everybody if you could just have their art cards for free, and everybody said, yeah, like,
Yeah, go
it's not
on
one
for
I
art
there.
cards.
I gave him a signed Vivi, Mark. You're welcome.
Wait,
and-
is that
Mark reference.
Doritos? Man, Mark's on, was that Doritos?
No, that's
Mark?
Pizza Hands, Mark.
Pizza Hand Mark, okay.
While borrowing my decks, Mark. Yeah, so I think he made out like a bandit that one. Good job.
Oh, so speaking of
Yeah, so coming up by a bandit. Yeah.
Wait, did you see me dumpster diving?
Oh no!
What?
So I was sitting at table playing, and then someone just opened. It was a starter deck or I don't know what it is, like the 2-deck package.
Yeah.
The 1v1 duel deck?
Yeah, and they just threw it in the garbage, like right beside me, right? And then in it were like the punch out tokens that was basically a token of. I think it was like Tifa and Sephiroth and Cloud, or Tifa and Cloud, and the crystal thing. Yeah, and I'm like, yo, I'm taking this. So I reached the garbage, took it, punched out the tokens. I'm like, yeah, now I got Final Fantasy tokens.
Nice.
And I'm like, people don't value like this, like branded merch, like kind of like how we just discard art cards.
Yeah.
But like, I like it. Like, there's no difference between that and a card.
I don't.
And I got it for free. Out of the garbage.
I think Final Fantasy fans care about that, though, right?
Yeah.
Because like I'm talking to like people just that don't normally play Magic and are now playing it just for Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
They just love the art alone. Like the art has gone off the charts with this set.
I've kept my pre-release deck box, which I've never done.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm like, oh, so sweet. Right? And then I kept it, right? But I never do that, so that's kind of interesting. One man's garbage is another man's trash. Treasure.
That's still
I mean, it still works. It still works.
That's still trash.
How much of the size of the con do you think is Final Fantasy? Do you think like if this was just a normal Magic set, would this still be 25k people at Vegas, or do you think like you think it would still be as big? So it's not
People wouldn't be as
Final Fantasy.
enthused.
Yeah.
I feel people have a little more gusto this time around, but it'd probably sell out even if it wasn't Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So the other announcement we got, two upcoming set names. So we knew we were going back to Lorwyn. Lorwyn Eclipsed is going to be the first set of next year, January. And then we found out Strixhaven, Secrets of Strixhaven, is going to be coming out next year. We don't know exactly when yet, but sometime next year. Are you guys hyped at all about returning to either of those planes? Like, so 2 return of planes. What's the hype level for Lorwyn and Strixhaven? Which one are you more hyped for?
Lorwyn.
Strixhaven is fine. Lorwyn's like,
Are you super? Yeah.
oh my god! Especially if they get like the original artists from Lorwyn, like Rebecca. I need Rebecca Gay. I need more Rebecca Gay in my life. I need as many arts as she can possibly be commissioned to do. I want all of them. Like, and they're bringing back fairies. Fairies are one of my favorite archetypes ever.
Do you think they bring back Bitter Blossom? Would they? Would that even be good? Right?
Would it be playable?
Like, would Bitter Blossom be good?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. But then it should, right? Like,
maybe it'd be okay.
Remember the
I don't even know if it'd be okay.
I don't think it'd be good right now against like prowess with trample.
I definitely would not want to wait until my upkeep to get a 1/1.
so sad.
But I am curious. What about like Spell Stutter Spread? I think Spell Stutter Spread with the low curve in the standard. I think it's actually kind of cracked. Right?
When they printed the Spellstutter counter spell, I was like, this is not.
They're not gonna make fairies good.
Probably not.
They probably have to bring them back though, right?
Like, they'll bring
to
them
meet
back.
expectations.
And
you
then
gotta.
subvert expiration with the 5-drop, 5/5.
Yeah, you've been seeing how the fairies have come out in wilds, right? It's like sorcery speed.
Wild. Yeah, where they're all wrong.
Yeah, like it's like what? No, I don't want to pay for a 5-mana fairy.
They were like borderline playable, but like no, not when they came out.
What did they didn't do the fairies thing? They did like some. It's like when they're like white zombies, and you're like, okay, that's novel, but I really needed some more zombies for my black deck, right?
Yeah.
Like, I need some flash, temple-y fairies, not some weird Sarah Angels.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll take one quickling, just like a new quickling or something, please.
It is kind of interesting how the main creature type kind of always flops. Like, nobody plays dinosaurs. The zombies, we got Champion of the Parish, but no zombie decks. Like, they tried. I mean, fairies and Eldraine, they kind of messed up, I guess. But, yeah.
I think it's because there's a spotlight on this, so they really, especially with fairies and how busted it was in Standard, I think they are going to really hunt in on it. Like, we can't have that happen again. So we're just going to balance out whatever the popular like.
What about Kithkin though? Maybe it's Kithkin time.
Yeah. I think this is
they're halflings or whatever now.
Are they gonna
rot it? I think they're gonna rot it.
They'll probably do something with food. I don't know. Like I don't trust any of this.
So you think it's gonna synergize with Lord of the Rings stuff more than Lorwyn stuff?
I don't know. I don't care anymore. Here's my hot take. I will take Ether Drift over Return to Lord, Return to any. I think all Return to anything suck. No. And I would rather go to a new plane, and maybe it sucks, maybe it doesn't, but it's something new. But they took Kamigawa and like literally changed everything about Kamigawa, so I guess that technically is fine.
RTR. You know what you're telling me? RTR was.
I mean, it's fine, but I seriously would go OTJ, Ether Drift, Edge of Eternities because it's a new plane.
Fair.
And we're going to see new things, and we're not going to see either the same recycled things or our favorite things like destroyed, right? Like MKM, right? Like,
I do want them to not spend the whole set trying to just recapture nostalgia, right? Because I think that makes it as a gimmick set.
I think it makes way more sense now, though, because, like, RTR, Murders of Karlov Manor was Ravnica 10 or something.
Oh my god,
we had 2 full blocks, and then a 2-set block, and then that. But, like, Strixhaven, we had 1 single set. Like, there's got to be way more you can explore there, right? That's not just going to feel redundant or nostalgia bait or whatever, because we only had a single set of Strixhaven.
Were there new Harry Potter books in the meantime? Like, come on.
I'm not even sure it's about Strixhaven.
You like Strixhaven?
Yeah, I like it. I hope they stick to the schools, though, not do the Ravnica thing and say, Ravnica, but without the guilds.
It's a
like
murder
it's now a
mystery.
one-color set, and they say, I don't know what. I am actually pretty hyped about Strixhaven. Just
really
more
drafting
power,
it.
please. No, don't overdo it. Don't
Like warm in Strixhaven.
Yeah, that's gonna be on the first Strixhaven. It was fine, but it was
It really means that Harry Potter Universe Beyond is not happening. That's what it really means when we hear this, right?
Well, there is a new Harry Potter series coming out or something.
Oh, that's right. I saw they recast the kids or whatever for the new.
When does that launch? Is it next year?
I have no idea. Probably very long because they just announced the casting of the children.
Maybe. That might be Strixhaven.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because a lot of times I line up Universes Beyond stuff with, like, the new show dropping or something. I don't know if they'd actually do Harry Potter, though. Honestly.
I'm now worried. Richard has made me worry about Lorwyn. I'm so hyped.
Wait, Homer, do you want to see a return? You said you want the classic one. You don't want the Neon Dynasty treatment, right? Because I think most people love Neon Dynasty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
that's great.
Neon Dynasty was...
But it's kind of like not really Kamigawa, right? Like it's technically Kamigawa.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I liked Neon Dynasty. It didn't feel like Kamigawa to me, but it felt like its own thing, and I liked both.
That's fine.
But yeah, it is weird because like if you just retread the same stuff, then it's like, okay, what was the point of going back other than nostalgia bait, which is valid. But then like sometimes when they go back, it's really bad. Like I remember when they went back to Innistrad and they're like, we're gonna do a vampire wedding, and like that was the best you can come up with. That was it. I was like, maybe just don't.
Aren't there planes that we know about that we haven't visited, but from like ancient lore? Like, you know what I mean? Like these planes that have been talked about in the story. We don't need to have OTJ. No, OTJ is just randomly made up, right? But have we run out of those? I felt there was like more worlds.
I know there's some that have been mentioned and never been on like a real set at least. Maybe they get like a Commander Recon card or something, but we've never really visited.
There was Maraganda in Ether Drift.
Yeah, one card, right? Or two.
No, it was a third.
Just give me more Ether Drifts. They tried, okay? They tried.
I agree with that.
So it's better to try and fail than not
I fully agree with that. Like, I want them to explore new worlds.
As long as they learn from it. If you know
more
and it flops, that's fine, but don't just keep making more Ether Drifts once it flops. Learn from it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see a return to Ether Drifts.
Yeah, please, for the love of God.
Well, like,
no more loops.
With, what's a board game? Crazy Labyrinth.
Like, some returns are good. Like, I really liked Eldritch Moon, for example. Like, I felt like it was not just, we're doing Innistrad again. It's like, we did Innistrad for, like, the first part of it, and the rest of it was like, ooh, Eldritch Lovecraftian horror with Eldrazi. I thought that was so cool. Mm-hmm. But then sometimes it's just not. It's like, no.
Yeah. It seems like it's tricky to do return upsets, because you gotta meet expectations, but make it new, and when you gotta weigh those two things and balance it out, it seems challenging.
The reason why MKM flopped was because people were expecting just classic Ravnica.
I mean, what's the first thing you think of when you hear Ravnica, though, is guilds for me.
Yeah.
Like, that's the first thing that comes to mind, and then they milled a Ravnica set that did not do the only thing I think of, the first thing I think of when I hear Ravnica. So I think that was the problem.
There were almost no clues.
Come on. That sounds like Alonis played.
Would it have been good to just let's do Ravnica yet again for like the 80th time? Like, how many times do we have to be like, oh, that's an Izzet mage, and he likes electricity. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I mean,
don't you like
pizza.
the mirror with the spies? That's Lazam again.
That's how introduce himself. I'm playing Izzet, and I like electricity.
No, okay, man, I mean, that is me. Just give me more Nib Mizzets. I need more body pillows for my Nib Mizzet collection. Like, I don't know.
Anyway, I think that's pretty much all we got from MagicCon Vegas. Anything else anyone wants to share before we wrap it up for today?
I think Avatar might be more popular than we think.
We have an Avatar card.
That's-
We have an Avatar card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get into it for editing purposes.
Yeah.
But it's got a text that we don't know what it does yet. But then we did get one. You can see an Avatar spoiler if you look at
The art is insane.
The art is beautiful. The foiling looks good according to what it projected up there, but
we had multiple people in our meet and greet that were like pretty hardcore, like tattoos or pins and like hardcore Avatar fans, and that made me think maybe Avatar's gonna. I still don't think it's gonna be Final Fantasy big, but it might be bigger than I was thinking it was gonna be.
I think I'm right there with you. It's gonna be bigger than what we kind of projected it to be, but I think it's not gonna be Final Fantasy, but I think it's way bigger than we think it will be.
I didn't see any Spider-Man tattoos though, so I'm still not so.
First off, I would never. Second off, I saw some people I saw a lot of Spider-Man and like Marvel lanyards and like shirts, Spider-Man shirts and things like that. So, we'll see.
I feel like the collectors are going to go crazy for it, especially if they do like, I don't know, serialized comic book front style thingies, and comic book collectors are going to be like, hell yeah.
It's probably going to depend on the art.
Yeah.
On like the treatments.
I mean, just Venom is also popular too, right? Just because of look and how cool factor. So
the movies are
X-Men
really good.
would be the banging one.
Oh, sure.
Is it, I don't know what the ranking of Marvel IPs is, but I feel X-Men.
That's the one.
Yeah,
like X-Men 97. Like I think you just gotta hit that boomer pocket.
Yeah.
Like there's this period of time. You take all the popular stuff from it. So Final Fantasy VII comes from that time, right?
Yeah.
Like X-Men cartoon comes from that time.
They redid it recently.
Yeah, and that one was very successful, right?
Yeah.
So, Spider-Man, like kind of like the Spider-Man cartoon was a lot earlier, right?
Yeah.
But
that's with Iron Man's cartoon. I think.
Wait, there's an Iron Man cartoon.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Iron
It's
Man?
really bad.
Or I think Batman animated series would do well, but yeah, it's that boomer pocket, and apparently Avatar's. I don't know, man. There's so many people. We got some scathing emails when we talked about successful like IPs and stuff last time, and we didn't mention Avatar. And like,
I mean, it is pretty good.
You forgot about Avatar, right? Like Avatar's the best, right? And like, so a lot of people love Avatar, and just like random people you wouldn't expect, like.
I mean,
boomery people, right? And they're like, "Oh, I watched Avatar with my kids or whatever." I'm like,
I don't watch much anime, although it is increasing. But I watched Avatar. It is very, very good.
Yeah.
Aren't you a weeb? You watch Attack
Well,
on
no,
Titan.
but actually, I've been increasing my anime consumption again.
Anyway, everyone, I think that wraps up episode 541 of the MTGGoldfish podcast. So, thanks for hanging out. Thanks to our sponsors for supporting the show. And we'll be back next week once we're all back home with another one. So, until then, have an amazing week. And this is the crew signing out for MagicCon Vegas.